Friends, attention! Have you heard the buzz about a new R1400 relief grant for 2025? Messages on WhatsApp and Facebook claim that the government is offering a R1400 monthly grant and that you can apply at SASSA offices or online to get this money. It sounds like amazing help for those struggling with daily costs. But is this R1400 grant real, or is it just another social media scam? Today, let's break it down in simple terms. We'll uncover the truth behind the claim, explain how the rumor started, point out red flags that signal it's likely fake, and show you how to verify real SASSA announcements. We'll also remind you what genuine SASSA grants are available, like the R370 SRD grant, old age pension, etc., and what to do if you get a suspicious message. By the end, you'll know exactly whether the R1400 relief grant is fact or fiction, and how to protect yourself from false news. Let's dive in. Early in this year, posts began circulating on social media saying the government introduced a new R1400 monthly relief grant. According to these viral messages, if you were unemployed, had no income, or were below a certain income level, you could qualify for R1400 per month in assistance. Some versions even claimed single parents, people with disabilities, and those already receiving small grants would get preference for this R1400 grant. They described an application process. Fill out forms online or submit documents at SASSA offices, just like you would for a normal grant. For many South Africans facing tough times, the idea of a larger grant was both timely and believable. Unemployment is high and prices for food, transport, and electricity keep rising. A bigger grant could really help, so it's no surprise that the news spread rapidly on WhatsApp and Facebook. Friends and family forwarded the message, hoping it was true and wanting others to benefit. After all, R1400 a month sounds like a lifeline when you're struggling. However, whenever we see something like this, we have to pause and ask, did this come from an official source? In this case, SASSA and the Department of Social Development were quickly contacted to check the story, and they confirmed that this grant does not exist. Unfortunately, the R1400 relief grant is a hoax. It caught people's attention because it seemed realistic and arrived at a moment when folks were eager for good news, but it has no official basis in truth. Let's make this clear. There is no official R1400 monthly relief grant from SASSA or the government in this year. SASSA and the Department of Social Development have not announced any such grant. If you review the official 2025 budgets, plans, or any press statements, you'll find no mention of a R1400 grant at all. SASSA's spokespersons have also urged the public to ignore any claims about unannounced grants. In fact, SASSA said that any other increase not announced by credible and relevant authorities should be treated as lies. In other words, if a grant or increase isn't coming straight from an official source, don't believe it. What the government is continuing the existing social grants that millions rely on. The only real monthly support programs of this year are the established grants we already know about. As you can see, nowhere in the lineup of real grants is there a R1400 per month relief grant. A brand new grant of that size would be a huge deal. It would appear in the national budget speech, official SASSA statements, and all over the news. There was no such announcement. In fact, SASSA has publicly stated that the only relief program for unemployed people remains the existing SRD R370 grant, and no additional R1400 support has been introduced. So why did so many people fall for this story? Scammers know that when people are desperate or hopeful, they might not double-check news that promises help. This grant rumor combined a perfect storm of elements that made it spread widely. The realistic timing and amount, yes. South Africans have been under financial strain, and any news of extra aid sounds like a godsend. The amount R1400 seemed plausible. It's higher than the R370 SRD grant, but not ridiculously high compared to pensions around R2K. That made people think, this could be real. Also, the post described who qualifies in detail. unemployed, no income, etc., even single parents or people on other grants, and gave an application process involving SASSA offices and forms. This level of detail made the hoax feel legitimate, as if it were a government announcement. Many versions of the scam included links to websites that looked like government or SASSA pages. These sites might have had SASSA logos or forms asking for your ID number, banking info, and proof of residence, very sensitive details. The rumor spread primarily via WhatsApp forwards, Facebook shares, and other social platforms. We tend to trust things we get from friends or family, so if someone you know forwards a message saying, "Apply now for this R1400 grant," you might believe it. WhatsApp in particular is a hotbed for these kinds of chain messages. Because it's fast and somewhat private, false news can explode before authorities can intervene. Now, to avoid confusion, let's quickly recap what grants are actually available from SASSA this year. The Social Relief of Distress grant of R370 per month. The old age pension is around R2300 per month for seniors. The disability grant around R2300 per month as well. The grant in aid R560 per month. This is not a standalone grant, it's an extra amount for someone who is already getting a pension or disability grant and needs a full-time caregiver. No R1400 relief grant is on this list. Knowing these figures can help you sniff out a fake. If tomorrow you see a post claiming new R2500 grant for all unemployed graduates, you can compare it to the above. If it wasn't in the news and it's not one of these known grants, chances are it's fake. Scammers often pick a number that sounds somewhat realistic, like R1400 was between the SRD and pension amounts, hoping it will blend in. To wrap up, the claim about a South Africa R1400 relief grant is fake news. There is no new R1400 monthly grant. It was a rumor that spread on social media and WhatsApp. Scammers took advantage of people's hopes and created a convincing story, but SASSA has confirmed it's not real. Always remember to double-check grant news on official channels, SASSA's website, their verified social media, government statements, or reliable news outlets. If a message about grants only exists on WhatsApp and nowhere else, that's a big warning sign. Stay alert for red flags like requests for personal info or odd web links. In today's world, misinformation spreads quickly, but we can protect ourselves by being informed and cautious. Thank you for watching, listening, and I hope this cleared up the confusion around the fake R1400 grant story. Remember, staying informed is your best defense against scams. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and share it with others so they don't fall for false news. And subscribe to our channel for more updates on real SASSA support and other news that matters. Stay safe, stay smart, and until next time, keep checking those facts.